brand new hour here, live from Washington, D.C., of course. Special edition today. The reason being is I'm going to get a hard pass for the White House today. We'll tell you about that coming up in a little bit. But first, three big things you need to know here. Number one, the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine are stalled again. I mean, what'd you expect? They're bombing each other, attacking each other, blowing each other up, right? I mean, what exactly did you expect? There is that. Number two, as we've talked about, a pair of Chinese nationals arrested, charged with bringing fungus into America that could destroy wheat, corn, rice, barley, the food crop, create an end of farming in America. And number three, we talk about Elon Musk completely ripping the entire big, beautiful bill. And if you didn't hear it, here's what he said about it. And this is important because obviously he doesn't like what he's seeing in the bill. He said, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination." Look, I can't argue with him. I can't. If we don't get this spending under control, we're screwed. And now there are Republicans in the Senate getting cold feet, too. Ron Johnson says, how about line by line cuts in the spending? Okay, how about that? But Republicans in the Senate getting cold feet, too. I want you to hear this.
And as far as releasing
those senators, it's not news that they disagree with this president on policy, and the president has vocally called them out for it and for their not having their facts together. I would add the Congressional Budget Office has been historically wrong. In fact, they predicted the Trump tax cuts from the president's first term in 2017. Their prediction was wrong by $500 billion. Those tax cuts had nearly $500 billion more of revenue than the Congressional Budget Office scored. And I would also point out, I don't think many people know this, there hasn't been a single staffer in the entire Congressional Budget Office that has contributed to a Republican since the year 2000. But guess what? There have been many staffers within the Congressional Budget Office who have contributed to Democrat candidates and politicians every single cycle since. So unfortunately, this is an institution in our country that has become partisan and political, and we are very confident in our own economic analyses of this bill. There is $1.6 trillion in savings, and our Office of Management and Budget Director, Russ Vought, is a fiscal hawk. He is well known in this city for being a well-respected fiscal hawk. He has tools at his disposal to produce even more savings. And as you know, the White House will be sending our rescissions package to Capitol Hill today.
Yeah, and so we'll see what that rescissions package brings. But look, if we don't get spending under control in America, if they don't give you a plan to cut spending in this country, if politicians, whether it's Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter, the debt crisis, the coming debt crisis is the most predictable financial disaster in world history. If we face a debt crisis like Greece did, which was bailed out by the EU is not bailing out the United States. Let me clue you in. That's not happening, right? But on the other side of the coin, Democrats aren't popular either. Whatever they're selling, Americans aren't buying. I mean, look at the number. Well, you don't have to take my word for it. Let's look at CNN's numbers, shall we? When it comes to the economy, Americans aren't buying what Democrats are selling. Here, listen to this.
After all of the waves, Kate Baldwin, after the last few months, the first 5 months of the Donald Trump presidency, right, the first 4 months of the Donald Trump presidency, that you expect that Democrats would have this massive lead on the economy. It ain't so. It ain't so. The party that is closest to your economic views, in November of 2023, it was the Republicans by 11 points. Now it's still within that range, still within that margin of error. Plus 8-point advantage for the Republican Party. How is that possible, Democrats? How is that possible after all the recession fears, after the stock market's been doing all of this, after all the tariffs that Americans are against, and Republicans still hold an 8-point lead on the economy? Are you kidding me? If it was just this one CNN poll, that would be one thing. But take a look at Reuters Ipsos. What do we see here? Party with a better economic plan. Well, in May of 2024, just before Donald Trump was reelected president, Republicans had a 9-point advantage. Look at where we are now in May of 2025. The advantage actually went up by 3 points. Now Republicans have a 12-point advantage.
A 12-point advantage. It would seem that with all the work being done by MSNBC, Chicken Noodle News, the Washington Post, New York Times, the nightly news networks, you would think with all the work they're doing, carrying water for the Democrats, promoting such wonderful ideas as open borders and men participating in women's sports, that they'd have an advantage. But somehow, whatever the Democrats are selling, America's not buying. You'll figure, oh, and that's not all. Here's more from CNN.
All of that, the Democrats are down by 12 points on the economy. This speaks to Democratic problems on the economy better than basically anything that you could possibly look at. The Republicans still hold an advantage on the all-important key issue of the day, which is the party of the middle class, has been a huge advantage for Democrats. I have polling from NBC going all the way back since 1989, when Democrats had a 23-point advantage. 2016, a 17-point advantage. But by this decade, we already started seeing declines back in 2022, where you saw that Democrats led, but only by 4 points, well within the margin of error. And now in our latest CNN poll among registered voters, which is the party of the middle class, it is tied. This, I think, speaks to Democratic ills more than anything else. They have traditionally been the party of the middle class. No more. Donald Trump and the Republican Party have taken that mantle away, and now a key advantage for Democrats historically has gone adios amigos, and now there is no party that is the party of the middle class. Republicans have completely closed the gap, Kate.
It's gone adios amigos. Gee, what do you think old Henry's referring to there? Or Harry, excuse me, Harry Anton. Harry, Henry, whatever. You work at Chicken Noodle News, whatever. But he's kind of a fired up, colorful young fella, isn't he? Look, the Democrats are selling snake oil and everybody knows it. If Republicans can get spending under control, but here's the problem with that. When Elon Musk calls this a disgusting abomination, Bernie Sanders comes right out, you're right, because it does this and that, and Bernie jumps on board. Look, Bernie Sanders has been a kook my entire life. That hasn't changed. Bernie Sanders is a kook. He was a kook then. He's a kook now. Democrats think he's a kook. He's not even a Democrat, but somehow they've drifted to Bernie's side of the column. I don't understand it. Nobody understands it. But there it is. Donald Trump continues to move the needle in favor of the middle class, in favor of his agenda, in favor of everything that he's doing. It's going the right way for Donald Trump and the Republicans. If they can keep spending under control, if the economy is in good shape a year from today, they are in very good shape for the midterms. We'll see how the Senate plays with the big, beautiful bill. Every day we'll keep you up to date right here on the Steve Gruber Show. Don't forget to follow me on X, Instagram, Truth Social. We're live on YouTube and so many other places. Just get in touch with it. Be part of the movement. I'll be right back.